Let's talk about the ancient three-fingered extraterrestrial alien corpses that were just shown to lawmakers in Mexico. Yes, that's right. This is by Michael Snyder. Did we just witness the unveiling of the most amazing alien discovery in history, or was it all a hoax? 2023 has been a really weird year, and it's just gotten even weirder. On Tuesday, an independent researcher named Jamie Moussan brought two small mummified specimens with him when he testified at a congressional hearing in Mexico about UFOs. The mummified specimens were contained in two glass display cases, and so they could be very clearly seen. But now you have probably come across photos or videos of these creatures on social media, but are they actually real? According to Jamie Moussan, carbon-14 dating that was conducted by the National Autonomous University of Mexico has, quote, determined the remains were 700 and 1,800 years old, end quote. A journalist and researcher on unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, or UFOs as they're better known, presented the remains of purported non-human beings to lawmakers in Mexico on Tuesday during the country's first public congressional hearing on the topic. Jamie Moussan brought two boxes containing what he said were the small stuffed bodies of extraterrestrials recovered in Peru in 2017. He said carbon-14 dating carried out by the National Autonomous University of Mexico had determined the remains were 700 years old and 1,800 years old, respectively. Each of the figures had only 3 fingers on each hand and elongated heads, resembling at least superficially a Hollywood-born character E.T. Assuming that this testing was conducted properly, there's probably little doubt that these specimens are extremely old, but that does not prove that they are aliens. Moussan says that the fossilized bodies of these two creatures were discovered inside the Peruvian city of Cusco. He claimed the purported bodies were found fossilized in mines in Cusco, Peru, in a layer of diatomaceous earth or ancient phytoplankton algae. These aren't beings that were found after UFO wreckage. They were found in diatom mines and were later fossilized, he said. Later adding, whether they are aliens or not, we don't know, but they were intelligent and they lived with us. They should rewrite history. We are not alone in this vast universe. We should embrace this reality, he said. So who originally found them? Was it Moussan or was it someone else? That's a very important detail. DNA testing has been performed on these creatures, and it was determined that 30% of the DNA is unknown. The National Autonomous University of Mexico conducted tests on them, which Moussan claimed revealed that more than 30% of the specimen's DNA was unknown, indicating that they are not part of our terrestrial evolution, he said. If this is confirmed, it will go a long way towards verifying that these specimens are not human. Hopefully more tests will be done. It's also being reported that X-rays showed that one of the entities carried eggs with embryos inside them. Experts in Congress showed apparent X-rays of the specimens and told deputies that one of the beings carried eggs with embryos inside them. They said that they had implants of cadmium and osmium metals. Osmium is one of the most scarce elements in the Earth's crust and considered the rarest precious metal. So obviously they were capable of reproducing. And where did the creatures get those implants? There are so many questions that need to be answered. Of course, there are many that are skeptical that these creatures are the real thing. One of those skeptics is Paul Joseph Watson. One of the reasons why a lot of people are skeptical is because mummies from Peru that Moussan previously treated as aliens turned out to be human children instead. The Independent noted that Moussan, an investigative journalist who has been researching extraterrestrial phenomena for decades, has been connected to precious claims of debunked alien discoveries, including 5 mummies discovered in Peru in 2017, later determined to be remains of human children. So I certainly can't blame the skeptics for being skeptical. And it is true that these two mummies are much smaller than an adult human, The corpses displayed in glass boxes were much smaller than adult human. Eyes and nose, mouth were clearly discernible on their faces. So could this simply be another case of mummified children? Maybe, but the DNA tells us that they have conducted would appear to cast doubt on that theory. Moussan insists that these entities are the real thing. In fact, he's absolutely sure that they are non-human specimens that are not related to any other species in our world. This is the first time extraterrestrial life is presented in such a form, and I think there is a clear demonstration that we are dealing with non-human specimens that are not related to any other species in our world, Moussan told the lawmakers, urging them to consider the topic, which he said should not be viewed as a political topic but a topic for humanity. He said DNA evidence could prove the specimens were not of this planet, but it was not clear if any such tests had been carried out. Maybe he is right, maybe he isn't. Personally, I would like to see more tests be conducted by multiple independent labs. If multiple independent labs come back and tell us that these creatures are not human, that would be quite compelling. But whether these creatures are the real thing or not, nothing can change the fact that UFOs are constantly being spotted all over the globe. I have been repeatedly warning my readers that the stage is being set for deception of epic proportions, and when that day arrives, most people in the general population will buy it hook, line, and sinker. Novels, movies, television shows, and video games have been mentally preparing us for the arrival of, quote, visitors from another planet, end quote, for decades, and so we've been perfectly primed to believe a colossal lie. This is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.